And then for history, we have the world history, US history, and geography. Those are the three core history courses. So something to keep in mind for what's available for math, English, history, and science.
Hello, hello. Again, here we are, Amos.
Yep.
One more time. Feels like that's been a while. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're both busy people here, so gotta understand people. So, yeah, today we have a new topic. We're gonna be tying a little bit of the nuts and bolts of the incoming year
Yep.
because this one is already at the end.
Yeah.
We are nearing.
Yep.
As a college students, I'm happy to be finishing, but for others, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, so today we're gonna be discussing what the school year is gonna look like, and I'm excited to hear more about it. Since I'll be around for a while. So, yes. So Amos, what do you have to say? What the school year is gonna look like for this coming school year?
This coming school year. Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the families that we've worked with to this point. We've had a lot of homeschool families and a few 5-day school families. So there's some people that were coming 5 days a week. So basically, our school was providing a 5-day service and homeschool service at the same time. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all our homeschool families and the 5-day families. Thanks for giving us a chance to, work with your children, give them this option. Thanks for giving us a chance to give them this option. And so I just want to reiterate that we're grateful, we're excited for year one. And of course, anything that starts sometimes, most times, will have challenges that you have to work through. And so we thank God for helping us through some of those challenges at Lifestem Academy. Looking ahead, we now know that there's a lot more that is possible, right? So when we started last summer, we had our open house and had like one family signed up. And then in, June, July, it was still there with about 10 students. And then a lot changed from July 12th to August 12th, right? A lot of people signed up in that window. And so we had to make adjustments, realizing we were not just going to be a one-room schoolhouse with 25 people or 2 rooms with 25 people. We ended up, for the most part now with about 70, 80 students. So we praise God for that. Here's the thing. Now going into next year, we understand that there is a capacity we can meet. We can have up to 140 students at the school, and we are actually going to aim for that. Of the 140, we are giving our current families basically the first option. We want them to sign up, now, let them decide, what they want to do. And then we're going to give the rest of that space to new families. Our class limit is 24 for any of our cohorts. And next year we have the kindergarten first grade cohort and the second grade, third grade cohort. Those two groups actually will work together a lot with the K3 program, I call it. So from kindergarten to third grade, they have their own world, right? That class is generally going to be smaller, but you do want to, let us know if you're interested. That's for the K3. So then we move to the 4th and 5th graders. That's a cohort, the 4th and 5th graders. The 6th graders, that's a cohort. The 7th and 8th graders, that's a cohort. And then the 9th to 12th grade actually has 2 cohorts, 9, 10, and 11, 12. So let's count how many cohorts we have. So we have, again, the K3 working together, sometimes in groups as K3, and sometimes they'll break apart into K1 and 2, 3. Montessori, classical, singing, learning, passion. We want them to get excited to learn, right? We want them to love learning. So that's what's going to be happening in the K3 space. A lot of exciting things there. We have, this year we've had a lot of opportunities to learn from Mrs. Durham and Miss Durham working with the 2-3, and then Mrs. Ward and Mrs. Barberg in the K1. But again, there'll be a lot more collaboration with those students. So that's number one. Number 2, the 4-5, that's a second group of its own. They will have English, math, history, science, music, French, Spanish, all of that. And then we're actually adding computer and technology etiquette for the 4-12 students. So that's something that we expect every one of our students to be competent and understand how to use technology well. What is wise and what is not wise. We're going to be teaching that from an early age. We don't want students making terrible mistakes with social media or all of those things. So anyway, so let's see. So for 4-5, we have a cohort, 6th grade cohort, 7-8 cohort, 9-10 cohort, and 10 and 11-12 cohort. So 5 cohorts for the 4th to 12th grade. So that means more teachers, more full-time staff, more helpers, and each of these, as I said, cannot exceed 24 students in any one of those classrooms. And so we will probably We're opening it up now. If you're interested, please use the enrollment form to sign up. And then we will have a wait list for any of those classes that gets full. And then we'll let you know, of course, if there's more staff added or anything changes. But right now, that's the goal. 24 people in each cohort. We're excited to offer the core subjects to the hybrid, Monday, Thursday people and the 5-day people. And let me explain the difference, what that would look like. So we're keeping the Monday, Thursday hybrid. That's the same thing. Now, we want to do more hands-on. We want to do more presentations. We want to do more of those things that will benefit homeschoolers in the Monday, Thursday available, days, those days. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you will have more of instruction happening for the 5-day people. They will basically get some instruction in class. Those who are homeschooled will be reading, a lot of the same stuff that these people are working on. But those who are here will get that instruction on Tuesdays and Fridays. And that leads me to Wednesdays. What's unique about Wednesdays? On Wednesdays, we're going to try to provide electives. Now, those who are 5-day people will be here all 5 days. But Wednesdays are also another opportunity. Let's say you're a homeschool family out there and you just want to take computer science. You just want to do computer etiquette. That's on Wednesday. Or maybe you just want to do gym. That's on Wednesday. Maybe you just want to do art. That's on Wednesday, if that makes sense. So we're doing Wednesdays as an elective day. There will be study hall opportunities as well. So anyways, I know that's a lot right there, but I just want us to kind of see the picture. You have several cohorts, 24 students limit. You have teachers for the core subjects. So our English instructor will work on just English with the different cohorts. Our math instructors will work on math, depending on what level of math, especially the higher level math. That's what they will do. Our science instructors will work with the students, and our history instructors will work with the students. So that's the breakdown of cohorts. And I hope, if you have any questions, let us know. But please know that the hybrid is still available, readily available for homeschool families. But we are just also opening it more now to 5-day people who want to be here all 5 days.
Yeah, well, that's really good. So basically, if I get it right, we're gonna have 5-day people coming in.
Yep.
Coming in the whole 5 days of the week,
Yep.
so Monday to Friday.
Yep.
There's a schedule for them.
Yep.
And Wednesday is a special day.
Yep.
Electives day.
Electives day. Yep.
I would like to ask you, just real quick, what are some of the electives that are going to be offered apart from computer science and things?
So computers, teaching my basic Word, Excel, PowerPoint, a basic etiquette. Here's how to use a computer. Here's when to put it away and things like that. And then there's computer etiquette. There's gym. There's we want to do more with art. We this year we had it in the first semester. We want to provide it year round. So next fall we'll get more help in the art department. And then depending on where people are at with music or foreign languages, there might be some advanced opportunities. But at this point, it's your gym, study hall, physical education, computer science.
Yeah, and with those study halls, we're hoping to have even more volunteers to come and help out.
Yep.
Of course, so if you are listening to this and you just want to help, want to get involved, please let us know in a comment below, email Amos, and we'll get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Somehow, some way.
Yep.
But still, on the subject of courses, I still would like to know, are there special courses, new courses being offered next semester or next school year? Yeah, so
as far as courses, if you don't mind, this part gets a little technical. Let's just go down the list briefly. So you have your English, right? So you have, for the K3 people, the program is really it includes the math and the science and the history and, all of that, right? Learning opportunities and all of that for K3. It's all enclosed with the teachers that are working with them there. For the 4th to 12th grade, they would have English. So regular English, grammar, spelling, vocabulary for the 4th through 8th grade especially. For the 9th to 12th grade, there will be more of the writing component. So that's English. English is pretty straightforward there. For mathematics, we're going to keep all the elementary school math courses. We are going to have Math Mammoth used as part of our math curriculum. So we have Singapore math right now. We're going to have Math Mammoth added in there. And then we're just going to have a lot more enrichment for your basic concepts of multiplication, division, fractions, decimals, percents. We want to give those elementary school students and middle school students a solid base in math. After you're done with that series, you do the pre-algebra series, which we have, and we have an online course for that. All our students get our online courses for free all our students who are here, and so they could use those videos. So we have pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2 geometry, calculus 1, pre-calculus, and then calculus 1. Calculus 2 as an online option is going to be available with our online instructor. So if you want to do calculus 2, we can take you as far as that if you want this year. Our long-term goal, God willing, again, is to also offer Calc 3, linear algebra, differential equations. So basically, you could get a math minor when you finish from LifeSTEM if you finish our whole math series. You can, and then you just go to a local college. I've done this personally with some students. I go to their math department and I say, hey, can you test this kid in Calc 2? And he passes, gets an A on all the tests, and they're like, yep, move on up. So I've seen that happen, and I know that it's very doable for the kids who are very interested in mathematics. So that's our math sequence. For science, the majority of our students will be doing biology and anatomy, but we have our textbooks for chemistry, physical science, if you want to do those courses, on the side. But our main focus will be biology, anatomy, and then for the younger students from 4th grade to 8th grade, they'll be doing earth science. Basically that involves some meteorology, that involves some space science. That's all enclosed. So for science, you have biology, physical science, earth science. Those are the main ones. And then for history, we have the world history, U.S. history, and geography. Those are the 3 core history courses. So something to keep in mind for what's available for math, English, history, and science.
Okay, well, that's good. And should there be new courses, we'll make sure that people do know about that. One thing that actually stuck to me when you were talking about math and all the sequences that it has, for the course that we've been offering this coming semester, better say. What is the difference between this Singaporean math and Mammoth math? What's the difference? Is it like?
So the Singapore math, for those of you who don't know, the country of Singapore has very good math program. Generally speaking, there's some countries that do much better than us in math, right? And Singapore is one of them. And so some of their approach has been put into textbooks that are now, used in America. And especially a lot of homeschoolers know about Singapore math. I do know that it's not for everybody, and I understand that. And that's where I bring in things like Math Mammoth. They have series in the Math Mammoth that has theme-based. So, for example, this series is focused on just fractions, or this series is focused on decimals. Or you can use the Mammoth math where it's a grade-based specific, 6th grade, 7th grade. So there's variety. That's kind of the key with the Mammoth math. But the Singapore math, I really want our kids to get strong in their computational skills, mental math, number sense, word problems and dissecting word problems, getting faster with calculations, mental calculations. That's a lot of what's happening with the Singapore math side of things. But whatever the case, though, I really want people to realize with LifeSTEM Academy, we use textbooks as a resource, as a guide. It's not the final authority. What do I mean by this? If somebody's using Singapore math and they're struggling to understand a certain concept, well, let's explore the other textbooks we have available. And at LifeSTEM, we've been blessed with hundreds of different materials and resources in math. Let's find a material that will help you master that thing you're trying to study, because we really don't want to just study to pass a test. We want to master the content. And so what does that take? Sometimes it takes using different textbooks. So let's teach our students how to research, how to find material from our library, which we have now, we thank God. So we have a library. You go to the library, you're learning fractions, look at it from this textbook. Oh, I still don't understand it. Let's look at it from this textbook. And some of our older students are going to be available to help with some of that math coaching. We're really trying to build a culture of peer tutoring, right? So ask some of those older students who have signed up to be tutors to guide you if you feel like you don't understand how to do the research in 6th grade. So I just want us to know that these textbooks are a guide, but they're not the final authority. We want to do whatever we can to help you master the content, whatever it takes.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Well, that said, I think we should have at least a few seconds break to just digest that information. It's a lot. And I do hope that you guys are taking notes if you have them, and please keep on contacting us for more information, because we have them.
Yep.
We want to provide it to you.
Yeah.
So, just to break away a little bit from this section, I'd like to ask a little bit more updates on both the fundraiser and the London trip coming up.
Well, thank you, Elias. So let's talk about the fundraiser. The fundraiser is on April 3rd here at LifeSTEM Academy in the new gym. We're inviting families and friends to please join us as we, share about some of the needs of the school and some of the scholarship that we want to offer more scholarships. So we want to get a scholarship fund more and more established. And so those are some of the things we'll be looking at the event. We will also be talking about the vision of LifeSTEM, where are we headed, where did we come from, where are we going. There's a lot more exciting things that you'll be seeing through the years, God willing. LifeSTEM has some interesting things coming, and we want to let families know. We want to remind families why we exist, and that's, we want to repair the ruins of the culture. We want to get students excited about learning and changing the world that they live in for good by the grace of God. So we'll be talking about that. We'll have performances. We'll have the launching of our school song will be officially unveiled at the fundraiser, and then we'll have a dessert social. So basically, at 6:00 we'll have a science fair. At 7:00 we'll have the fundraiser event, and then at 8:00 there's a dessert social. You feel free to stay as long as you want. If you'd like to give to the LifeSTEM Academy program, there's a donation tab you can use on the website, or you can also send a check to the school address. Address to LifeSTEM Academy, and then the LifeSTEM Academy fundraising committee. That's you can address the envelope to that. So that's 1110 14th Street South is our address in Moorhead. So
yeah, and there should be some more descriptions down below.
Yeah.
So check it out.
That's you mentioned the London trip. So that's the fundraiser part, right? So we want to continue to provide scholarships and help families during this time, especially I think of people who might be looking for a private school education but don't have the means. This will be a great way to help in that way. That leads to another part of LifeSTEM. So LifeSTEM, the word life there is very important. We really want kids to know how life works when they leave LifeSTEM Academy. We really want them to know what they're going to do with their lives when they leave LifeSTEM Academy. Like, we want them to explore careers. I have some books here that talk about career preparation, and we want to really do more of that with our students. We are available, or we offer programs year round, because we want to keep in touch, providing opportunities throughout the year. And one of the things this summer would be more of that career preparation, character development, and then some math review. There will be a math review opportunity all through the summer. But what's interesting is that we also want our students to know about the world they live in and explore, and hopefully be a light wherever they go. And so this year, the trip, every year there's a trip. By God's grace, this year it's London. In 2024, God willing, it's Germany, Switzerland, and then 2025, you can add France, Italy. But the goal is, we want them to explore Western civilization, the roots of Western civilization. But we also want them eventually to go to Nigeria and maybe Angola, right? We want them to travel the world. And so we want to start, preparing for that. So this year, again, we're going to London, May 5th to the 12th. We're excited to show people Cambridge University and Oxford University, the best universities in the world for a season there. And even till today, Oxford, I think, just got the best university award from some prestigious organizer. So anyway, so we want to show them Oxford and Cambridge. We want to show them Parliament and other parts of London. And then we want to tour and talk about the history of England as it relates to America. So yeah, there's about 22 people going on that. We're excited for them. And then, as I said, God willing, we're going to start taking registrations for the Germany, Switzerland, which was probably going to be in February next year. So you want to make sure you stay tuned for that as we go on.
Yeah. See, if you didn't know, Amos, I think you mentioned this earlier, but the London trip has already it's already closed.
Yeah.
There's no more space for anybody to sign up. So you better be watching for the next trip coming up.
Right.
If it is February, be sure to be on the list, so that you can go explore Germany. I've never been to Germany, so
okay, you're welcome to come. So
I like to explore.
Get your passport, everything ready. Let's go.
I'll try doing that. So yeah, let's see how it goes. So shifting gears here a little bit, before we even go back to another point on the curriculum, I'd like to hear also a little bit more about the chapel and what we're doing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so in the fourth quarter for Chapel, we are going to go over some of the concepts discussed in a book I wrote a few years ago called Why Do I Exist? That book was actually written, the original beginnings of that, some of those beginnings go back to my very first book called Achieving Excellence as a Young Person. Now, this was written in 2006, 2007, so have mercy. If you ever see a copy of this, don't judge me by this, okay? But this was written back in 2006, January, most of it, and it was just talking about helping young people achieve excellence, right? Achieving excellence as a young person. That's what it was called. Academic strategies, character development, having good friendships. That's what this book was about. And then I wrote another one called Christianity 201, The Pursuit of Excellence. That one had too many parts to it. There was like 3 parts to it and 3 different genres. So what I did was I extracted one of those and added a little more, and it became Why Do I Exist? So Why Do I Exist is a book about purpose and meaning. It's a book about apologetics. It's a book about just living a life that makes sense. And so we are going to have have our cohorts. There's 6 cohorts at the school. We're going to divide those 6 cohorts into 6 different classrooms. I'm going to have some of the student council leaders and some of the older students go through the book, go through the discussion questions, and we're going to do that over the course of several weeks in the 4th quarter. So parents, I've sent the book to our email address, to the email addresses, especially for the 7th to 12th grade families. Feel free to look at some of the topics we discuss. I mean, we cover a lot of fundamentals, but we also have topics. I mean, there's 9 chapters and then an introduction and a conclusion, so about 11 sections to read, but it's not too long. And some of these, you talk about things like, for example, there's a section on prayer, there's a section on serving in the body of Christ, and there's all these sections that you can even take and add more into the conversation. I'm just preparing, here's a catalyst to start the conversation, but please take it and go as far as you want in encouraging your kids to be well grounded in the truth. We live in a day and age where there's biblical illiteracy on high levels. A lot of people don't know their Bibles. A lot of people don't know about the Bible. So let's help our children be grounded in the truth and encourage them to encourage their friends to also be grounded in the truth. That's what we're doing in the 4th quarter.
Yeah. Wow, that's good. That is good. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, we thank God.
Now, I think we are almost up on time.
Yep.
But before we do so, I have one last question for us,
Yep.
which really pertains to you because who else has the questions? But anyway, the question really is, why should homeschoolers, consider life STEM, and why even register so early?
Yeah, so good questions. So he's saying, why should homeschoolers register? I mean, why should homeschoolers consider life STEM, and then why register now? Those are questions I get sometimes. The first thing about registering now, I will say this: next year, so this year we did provide the textbooks, and but next year we're not providing textbooks for everybody. I want people to have that option to buy their own textbooks, or for some people they might be using a different curriculum but still wanting to attend life STEM, and that is fine. That is completely fine. That's because if whether you're using Bob Jones or Notgrass, you're doing American history, you're going to have to talk about World War I. So our classroom time is really more about, let's talk about the history, let's talk about World War I, and let's talk about why it happened, let's talk about the implications. And you could do that from any textbook perspective as long as it covers it. So you could choose your own textbook, especially if you're homeschooled. Please, we want you to, do what's best for your family as a homeschool family. Now, that leads to, why should you consider life STEM? There was once upon a time where if you were homeschooling, things were pretty simple. They were simple in the sense that, here's our family, we're homeschooling, the influences around our children are well defined, and we know what's up. Well, that time is no longer now, right? We have social media influences. If you are homeschooling and your child has social media, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your child is actually exposed to a lot more than some kids would be exposed to in a private school, just because social media comes with a lot of bad things and good things. There's good things, but there's a lot of bad things to be aware of and be mindful of. And if you don't mind, we might dissect that topic at some point in detail, the social media world and just how to be careful. Yeah. And so homeschoolers, you need to be aware, and I know you know this, but I'm just saying it in case, that there's a lot of influences that can affect your child now that would have not been the case 12 years ago when you were homeschooling. And so that leads me to, why should you consider life STEM? Life STEM is not just about the content to be gained. That's not what life STEM is about. We want you to master content, yes, but we really want you to be prepared to engage with the culture that you're living in. And some of that involves just doing more apologetic studies, doing more, interacting with more people that are not your siblings and learning how to interact with them and how to answer some of their questions, and just basically getting a lot of practice so that when you homeschool and then you go out and are now working in an environment that is very different than your home, you're able to navigate things. Like Ezra and Nehemiah, you're able to stand firm and navigate things. So that's part of why we encourage homeschoolers to join us, is to learn from different people and see how to interact with those people. Now, as a school, we're going to do our part in raising the bar in expectations and character. We're going to, we've had a season of giving people a chance to adjust, and we're really moving forward with, here's what you can do and not do, and so on and so forth. Here's how you should dress. Here's how you should carry yourself. These are things that the school will provide. However, for the homeschool families, again, we will give you opportunities to debate. We will give you opportunities to interact with people from different backgrounds. And that's really what it's about. So that when you go to different environments, we want you to be comfortable sharing your faith and not feel like you've gone from one side of things and now you're in an environment that is totally different and concerning. Now, again, we have that same problem with people who go to private school and public school. Don't get me wrong. Nobody has perfect social skills. None of those people do. everybody needs to work on their social skills in every sphere. Because I hear people say things like, oh, I'm not going to homeschool. What about the socialization problem? I'm sorry to tell you that the socialization problem is a problem even with kids who attend schools, right? Yeah. You go out in public sometimes and you see kids on their phones, and they don't know that when you're having conversations with people, you should put the phone down and look them in the face, right? So these are things that this generation needs as a whole. Yeah. And the times we live in, as you know, I also don't have to go over this in too much detail, but these are not normal times. There was once a time where certain things were defined clearly and we knew what they were. And as Christians, we still know what they are. For Bible-believing Christians, we know what ABC is. But unfortunately, our culture has lost its mind. As a general term, okay? Our culture has lost its mind. So let's learn how to work together, build a team, and stand firm in these last days, because persecution will come, and it'll be good to have an army of people that are standing for the truth of God's word by the grace of God.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Amos. That was a lot. Well, Amos always has the habit of talking, so it's just okay. It's just natural for us now. Yeah. And I guess that was my fault. We kind of had like a 2 questions packed into one, so they have a lot to expound in there. Yep. But thank you guys for bearing with us. We hope that this was helpful. Brought some sort of instruction to you. Reach out for more questions. This should be up on our YouTube channel very, very soon. Yes, please. It shouldn't take me too long to update it. Yeah. We're just very happy. Happy to have done this. So we'll see you next week. And should you have more questions, don't forget to reach out. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much again to the students, families, teachers for everything and for this first year. We are very excited for the second year as we double our teaching staff if we need to. Whatever we need to do, we're excited to bring you the best we can. Homeschoolers and 5-day families, let's stay tuned as we work to be the best high school this nation knows by God's grace.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. See ya, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah.